Clash of Clans today released a blog post acknowledging a lot of the frustration we see in the community and explaining some of the things they're going to do about it. Now, I released a video on this, lots of creators have released a video on this topic, and within that, I shared with you a lot of the feedback I have shared with Supercell, but I share a lot of feedback with them. One of the things is that they have to do better with communication. So I am glad we are getting something from the team with regards to this topic. It starts out, we've been listening, Chief. With the release of Ranked Mode and Town Hall 18, we've introduced some of the biggest changes Clash has seen in years. That's absolutely the case. While many of you have enjoyed the added flexibility and competitive edge, we've also heard from a number of you that some parts of the experience, especially at higher leagues, have started to feel more demanding and discouraging than fun. Also the case. We want to acknowledge that feedback and share how we are responding. This is what we want to hear. What are they doing about it? Adjusting Ranked for a better experience. Now, I gave my feedback on some of the things I think they could do for Ranked. This goes into say it was designed to give more freedom in when and how intensely you want to play. Now, I agree and disagree there. It does, because you don't have to attack daily. Obviously, you can do weekly attacks. But really, if you want to progress up through the leagues, you kind of have to attack in Ranked weekly. It's not a case of having freedom like we had in the old system. But we know we haven't hit the sweet spot for everyone yet, particularly around progression pacing and difficulty at the top. Here are the first changes coming in the next update to address this. Fixing the bug where some players are incorrectly seeing demotion warnings. Okay, that's great. Fix the bugs so people aren't seeing demotion warnings if they're not going to get demoted. But as I said in that last video, just extend the league decay. It is punishing enough for people. We don't need that to just be a week. It has to be extended. Increasing promotion/demotion percentages in certain leagues to keep things moving. I don't think this solves the issue of progression through the leagues. Sure, it might help on a minor level, but the problem is that people get stuck in a particular league. You can't jump on for a 2-hour play session and feel like you've progressed through the leagues and therefore reap the rewards from better star bonuses or anything like that. It's 1 week at a time, and equally, you just get to the point where you're just stuck. I hear from a lot of players saying, I'm stuck in Electro 31. I feel like I'm not getting anywhere because every week I'm just stuck in that league. And fair enough, there's definitely a counter-argument to that, in that you do require skill to get up through the ranked leagues, but it's not how people have always played the game, and I think I'm going to do another video discussing a separate solution I have. Maybe that'll be later this week, next week, but let's stick to the blog post for this one. Before I go through the rest, we do have a video sponsor, so let's have a quick word from them. Thank you to Rise of Kingdoms for sponsoring today's video. Rise of Kingdoms, the epic free-to-play mobile strategy game, is launching its most ambitious update yet, refreshing gameplay for veterans and newcomers alike. This might be the best time ever to jump in. If you've ever played Rise of Kingdoms, you will know Sun Tzu. He's been a part of the journey for so many players, and in this update, he is back as Sun Tzu Prime, the ultimate free-to-play commander, now packing a devastating area of effect splash damage mechanic that dominates every battlefield. But here's the best part. Worried you're too far behind? Don't be. The Commander Reset System, or Regret button, allows you to reset one old commander and get 100% refund on all of your invested resources. Yes, every gold head. You can trade in unused commanders and instantly max out a meta pick like Sun Tzu Prime without grinding from scratch. Get a year's worth of progress in 1 day. Plus, with the new Jeweler's Jaunt event, you can skip months of farming, save thousands of gems, and get the competitive gear fast. That massively lowers the barrier to jump back in. Between Sun Tzu Prime, Commander Reset, Equipment Catch-Up, and generous login rewards, now is the best time to start or return to Rise of Kingdoms. The devs are really trying to listen to their fans with these additions, so it's worth logging back in to see what's new. You can check out Rise of Kingdoms using the link in the description. Thank you again to Rise of Kingdoms for sponsoring today's video. Continuing through the blog post though, reducing the required battle count in the highest leagues to help prevent burnout. Clearly they're looking at data for this, and I hope they get this right, because in the higher leagues, yes, you don't want to prevent burnout for players that feel like they have to do a lot of attacks, but equally, you want to have enough that the active players want to be engaged. I don't care about battle mode personally, so once my ranked attacks are done, I'm not really going into battle mode unless I'm specifically trying to farm something in particular, but generally speaking, you can get through updates at the rate of just doing your ranked attacks, so I hope they're using the data sensibly to guide that, which I'm sure they are. Adjusting difficulty modifiers based on community feedback. Now this is an important one, because the game, for the amount of players in Legends League, ultimately is just too difficult. It's too frustrating for people. There's not that many players that want to sweat the way that you have to in Legends League to really try hard at the top. But equally, the players at the top, they do want that difficult experience. So Legend League, ultimately, as I said in my previous video, there's just too many players in there to get a balance that works for everybody. Now, right now, I do feel like the amount of players at the top that like this modifier is very small. Even the players that like to be competitive, as long as they can set themselves apart on offense and make sure that the top players get to the top, then that's what we want. We don't even want those top players to be so frustrated all of the time. Ultimately, I think this will help, but Legends, in my view, needs to be smaller, and those other leagues below it needs to be rewarding and feel special as well. There is more that they go on to in terms of evolving the meta at Town Hall 18, but finishing off this ranked experience, we're grateful for all the input we've received, and we'll keep working on improving the ranked mode with your feedback. Now, before I go on to the evolving meta at Town Hall 18 they talk about, I have a couple of other points I want to say on this. Now, I was obviously giving some counterpoints there as we went through. I don't think this is going to make that big of a difference. These are relatively small changes when I think there needs to be much bigger changes to ranked mode. However, it does say in the next update. So these points are only for the next update. So I am hoping that following these, we get to see bigger, more drastic changes to make the system better for everybody. But at least this is a start that they are doing something to improve the gaming experience for everybody. So let's shift down to evolving meta. We've also heard feedback about the sudden shift in viable strategies at Town Hall 18. Some popular Town Hall 17 strategies no longer perform the same way on Town Hall 18, and that is partly due to mechanical changes, Town Hall not being a defense, but also that we do have missing new troop levels for that Town Hall. We want to be clear, our goal isn't for every strategy to work forever. As you upgrade, new content should feel exciting and powerful, and we've seen that with the Meteor Golem and the Totem Spell. That said, we always aim to make the transition smoother and more rewarding. So they are acknowledging they have not done a good job with that. Your feedback from this Town Hall update is already helping us to think on different approaches for the next one. So that's great to hear. I think everyone can agree, we don't expect to just learn one strategy and have that be the top of the meta forever and ever. But we want strategies to be usable, and that the core strategies that people get used to can still work, but maybe there's something else that is a little bit shinier that you have to learn, and that is stronger. But the other strategies shouldn't just get pulled from underneath you where they are just not working at a new Town Hall level. So the new troop levels is something they acknowledged, and that looks like something we will be getting. Clearly, we could have expected that with the next update anyway. But also it sounds like maybe with the next Town Hall, they do consider which troops are given levels. Now, I don't think that's the only thing. I did talk about when Town Hall 18 first came out that I questioned whether bringing superchargers with a Town Hall was the right thing or not. I can see both sides of it. You get the most time out of your superchargers, and that is temporary content, so you want to get the most out of it, but equally it can just add to the overwhelming nature at a Town Hall. I quite liked at Town Hall 16 where they came out at the end of the Town Hall, and that just helped to balance the game a little bit and tide you over until the next Town Hall came out. So if they did that, maybe it would feel like a new Town Hall is not so punishing. Because whilst, yes, there's more new troop levels to come and there is some new defense levels, we got all of the new defense levels, but all of the superchargers on top of that. So maybe the defense is skewed a little bit from what it would be at the end. I'm not saying it is, but it's just one extra thing they could consider when it comes to releasing town halls. And maybe that is something they're looking at, I don't know. Clearly they are acknowledging that the way Town Hall 18 went, we can expect some changes with Town Hall 19. And that's great to hear. Look, the team are always going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. They're trying to make the best game possible for us. They're trying to really stretch the boundaries and release more content, new content, bigger content. And when you do that, you are going to ultimately do things that aren't popular. But what we want is that they acknowledge when that's the case and fix it. So at least they are doing that. Let's see how these changes impact things. But to me, the most reassuring thing about this blog post is right at the end, where it says, looking ahead. These updates are part of an ongoing effort to make Clash the most fun and rewarding it can be, no matter how you play. We'll continue learning, listening, and adjusting as we go. Whether you're pushing in ranked, testing new armies, or just upgrading your village, we want to make sure you are having a good time doing it. That is the most important part. Clash is a game. It should be fun. People that are competitive and really want to push in ranked should be able to do so and enjoy that aspect of the game. But equally, people that are more casually, that just unwind while attacking to Clash of Clans, shouldn't feel like this is now some sort of pressurized competitive game and it's just not the reason they fell in love with Clash in the first place. I hope they can strike that balance. I have what I feel is a good idea, which I've already sent to Supercell, but I'll probably share that in a video because I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it as well. I am optimistic about the future of Clash of Clans. The team are clearly listening. They have heard the issue and they're looking to fix it. So that is great news. And I think that as this year goes on, we'll see more and more tweaks to the system to make sure that we can all have an enjoyable experience with Clash. Let me know what you think though, and I will place that video I referenced where I talked about this topic on your screen in case you're interested in checking that out. Enjoy the rest of your day.